Hello guys, good morning to all. Today I am here to describe about the digestion in intestine. In my previous video, I have already described about digestion in stomach. So this is the last digestion because digestion occurs in first in mouth or buccal cavity, then in stomach, then in digestion in intestine. So to know about the digestion in intestine, you have to first know about the structure of intestine. So there are two parts of intestine. One is small intestine, another is large intestine. Small intestine, its total length is about 20 feet. Why it is called small intestine? Because the body wall of the small intestine is more thin than that of large intestine. In case of large intestine, body wall is thick, but in case of small intestine, body wall is thin. These small intestines divided into three parts. First one is duodenum, which is just 10 to 12 inches in length. Then jejunum, 6.6 to 8.2 feet, and ileum is 9.8 to 13 feet in length. Beside this, in the inner membrane of the intestine, there are villi, finger-like projections are there, which maintain the surface extension of the small intestine. Above this villi, there are hair-like structures called microvilli, which are helpful for absorption. Here, in this video, I will describe about only digestion. In my next video, I will describe about the absorption in small intestine and absorption in large intestine. Now, intestine consists of three parts. That secretes three digestion. Number one is in duodenum, bile secretion occurs, and in duodenum again pancreatic secretion occurs, and in the intestinal region, particularly ileum and jejunum region, there is intestinal secretion occurs. Now, this is the structure of the duodenum, that means intestine, from where this duodenum occurring. This is the U-like structure which is called duodenum. In this duodenum, internally in the submucosal layer, there is a types of gland known as Brunner's gland, which secretes some juice containing sodium bicarbonate, which help to reduce the acidity of acid chyme from the stomach. What is acid chyme? Acid chyme is the semi-digested food of the stomach. When it enters in the duodenum, then due to the secretion of bile and other juices, which is more alkaline, which can reduce the acidity of this food, and at the same time it can also help to reduce the corrosive effect of hydrochloric acid of the gastric juice. So these Brunner glands not only help in the secretion of bicarbonate, which help in the reducing the corrosive effect of hydrochloric acid. At the same time, it also help to reduce the effect of hydrochloric acid in the inner lining of the duodenum. Now, this is the Brunner's gland, which help in the particularly present in the submucosal layer, and from which it secretes the juice bicarbonate, help in the reducing the corrosive effect. So here, this is the pylorus, that means pyloric end of the stomach, and this is the point of joining where is pyloric sphincter is present, and this is the duodenum part where this Brunner grains is present. Now, from the liver, bile is secreted. In liver, there are cells which are known as hepatic cells or liver cells. They secrete bile, and these bile begin to store in the particular sac called gallbladder. With the help of cystic duct, it begin to store here, and at the same time it enters into the duodenum through OD, sphincter of OD, and at the same time from pancreas also pancreatic secretions are entering in the duodenum. So what is present in what is the composition of bile? Bile is a alkaline fluid. It contains salts, it contains various chemicals also. The salt just like chloride, phosphate and carbonates of sodium, potassium and calcium, all these salts are present in the bile juice. At the same time, various enzymes like alkaline phosphates, triglyceride, cholesterol and lecithin are also present there. Beside this, there are the pigments, two pigments known as bilirubin and biliverdin. Bilirubin is yellow in color and biliverdin is green in color. These bilirubin help in the formation of the color of our stool, which is particularly brownish yellow in color. Beside this, bile is, as I have already told you, the bile is alkaline in chemically, and at the same time it helps in the fat digestion, particularly it emulsifying the fat. That means emulsifying means breaking down of fat particles into small particles. This is called emulsification of fat by the bile juice. At the same time, bile also provide the alkalinity, enzymatic, and also help in the enzymatic activity. Now, pancreatic juice. From pancreas, pancreatic juice are secreting in the duodenum. These pancreatic juice are containing three types of enzyme. One is proteolytic enzyme, one is amylolytic enzymes, and another is lipolytic enzyme. Proteolytic enzymes, what are the proteolytic enzymes? Proteolytic enzymes mean the enzymes which helps in the breakdown of protein molecules are known as proteolytic enzymes. These proteolytic enzymes are particularly trypsin, trypsinogen, chymotrypsin, carboxypeptidase, elastase, collagenase, etc. And actually pancreatic juice secreted in the duodenum is about per day 1 to 2 liters, and at the same time this trypsinogen, which is known as the protein digesting enzyme, it is in the inactive form. It has to be converted into trypsin with the help of an enzyme enterokinase. This trypsin then acts on the proteases, which is half digested protein materials of the stomach, into peptones and amino acids. And beside this, chymotrypsin and carboxypeptidase are also activated by this trypsin into simpler peptides and amino acid. So overall stages of protein breakdown is protein is first converted into alkali metaprotein, then primary proteases, then secondary proteases, then peptones, then polypeptides and amino acids. At the same time, collagenase acts on collagen and lecithin, and protamines acts on protamines, and elastase act on elastin. Now, amylolytic enzyme. What do you mean by amylolytic enzyme? Amylolytic enzyme are the enzyme which acts on particularly on the starch materials. Here, this amylolytic enzyme of pancreas particularly acts on the starch dextrin. What is starch dextrin? Starch dextrin is a half digested starch material which can be broken down easily after then. So these starch dextrin and glycogen are then converted into maltose, isomaltose and glucose. Then these maltose, by the action of maltase, converted into glucose, sucrose by converted with the help of enzyme sucrase converted into glucose, and at the same time isomaltose acted by isomaltase into glucose. Now lipolytic enzyme. What do you mean by lipolytic enzyme? Lipolytic enzyme are the enzymes which acts on particularly on the fat bodies. In case of pancreatic juice, lipolytic enzymes are collectively called stipsin. So lipolytic enzyme, it includes lipase, phospholipase, cholesterol. And this lipolytic enzyme, the activity of the lipolytic enzyme is more due to the presence of bile secretion. Bile can help in the activity more of the lipase. So lipase acts on lipids and convert it into fatty acid and glycerol. At the same time, phospholipase acts on phospholipid to make it lecithin and cephalin and fatty acid and glycerol. Similarly, cholesterol esterase acts on cholesterol ester to make free cholesterol and fatty acid. Thus, the end product of fat digestion are monoglyceride and diglyceride. Beside this, RNase and DNase acts on nucleotides, acts on nucleic acid to form nucleotides in its simpler forms. Now, we have already described about the pancreatic juice and bile juice. Now it is about intestinal juice. The total intestinal juice present in the intestine are collectively called succus entericus. So what succus entericus contains? It contains all the proteolytic enzyme, lipolytic enzyme and amylolytic enzyme. Here proteolytic enzyme, that means breakdown of protein molecules, last protein molecules are the aminopeptidase, dipeptidase and tripeptidase which act on polypeptide to form free amino acid. Similarly, amylolytic enzyme contains sucrase, sucrase and maltase which acts on sucrose to glucose and maltose to glucose respectively. At the same time, isomaltase acts on isomaltose to form glucose and galactose. And lipolytic enzyme includes lipase, phospholipase which acts on phospholipids, and beside this nuclease which includes RNase, DNase which acts on RNA and DNA of the food materials which are present lastly in the small intestine. So this is all about the digestion in small intestine. But how the secretion of all the enzymes is controlled? All these enzymes are controlled by several hormones present in the submucosal layer of the intestine. So what are the hormones? These are the hormones. First one is secretin, which is present in the duodenum and which helps to stimulate the pancreas to secrete the bicarbonate ions for neutralization of acidity. Similarly, pancreozymin, which stimulate pancreas to secrete pancreatic juice. Similarly, cholecystokinin, which causes the gallbladder to contract to excrete the bile juice. And last is hepatocrinin, which stimulates the liver to secrete bile juice. And last is enterocrinin, which particularly helps in the secretion of intestinal juice for digestion of the various food material. So this is all about the digestion of intestine. In my next video, I will describe about the absorption of small intestine, at the same time absorption on the large intestine. So if you like it, please subscribe it. Thank you.